Hi, this is Modulated Music. Welcome to the channel. Today I wanted to cover something that's been a hot topic on a lot of the YouTube synth channels, and that is travel gear. So today I want to talk about this. Everything I need is in this bag, and that bag is for example only. That may not be the pack I actually take. I just wanted to demonstrate that everything that I'm going to use will fit inside a standard size backpack. So this video is going to be multiple parts. I'm going to start with an overview of the gear, and I'm going to talk a little bit about each piece of gear, and then I'm going to transition to the travel gear that I brought with me for a little bit of a synth jam so that you can kind of get an example of what I'm able to record or whatever with this setup. Obviously this is both recording and also my synths itself. So it's a little bit more gear than like a normal person would take on a vacation. But I did a lot of thinking about this, and I wanted to just show what I've got. I'm going to break the video down by chapters, which you'll find in the description, or you can find them at the bottom of the video, and you'll be able to skip to the part of the video that you're most interested in. So if you're more interested in just the synth jam at the end, you can just skip straight to the synth jam at the end. So hopefully you guys enjoy this and you find it informative. First part of this video, I'm going to record everything on an iPhone 13 Pro. It's up here on a tripod. This tripod will not be going with me. I also am recording my audio right now into a Zoom H5. The Zoom is not going to be going with me either. I have taken it on previous trips. It's a nice recorder, but it does have AA batteries that it goes through pretty quickly, so I'm not going to bother trying to take it. I've got some additional equipment in here that should hopefully replace the Zoom on this trip. And also the phone, obviously I carry it with me everywhere, so by the end of this video, I'm going to actually have a 2-camera setup using that phone with a different tripod and whatever's in this pack. So we'll go ahead and begin. So I'll go with the first pouch, and we'll go through what's in here. So I don't have a proper case for this, but this is a Canon G7X. And it's the Mark III. I don't know if you can read that. And it is a great vlogging travel camera. It can do 4K video, but it is time limited to 10 minutes. But it can also do 1080p at 30 minutes at 60 FPS and a bunch of other things. I do like that it has the flippy screen, and it flips pretty nice. And I've added the small rig mount on the bottom, which gives me a couple of cold shoes, which I will actually use for my video. And it has an integrated zoom, so I don't have to carry extra lenses with me, which is nice. And it has a lot of smart app things, so I can transfer video to my phone, and I can share directly to YouTube and a few other things. This has been a great camera. I bought it used a few months back for a pretty good price. It does have some cosmetic flaws, but nonetheless, it's been a very good camera. And I do need to get a bag for that at some point. Number 2, this is a little cold shoe light that I have. It's LED. And I can actually adjust the color, and what's nice about this one is it's actually RGB as well. So I can dim it, turn it off, and I can cycle different colors. I don't know if it's going to pick up on camera, but you can see it kind of in my hands. It'll cycle different colors. And I've also got, it also does like the different color modes. You can change the hue for a more warm or a more cold color, and you can change the brightness. And that is rechargeable via USB-C. I picked that up off of Amazon relatively cheaply, 20 or 30 bucks I think, but it's a great little light. I'm going to use that for my cold shoe for a top-down shot. Number 2, this is an older RAV Power USB bank, and it does pretty high output. I don't know if you can see that, but it does pretty good output, and it has USB-C. It will recharge like a laptop or something. It's pretty nice. This was fairly expensive at the time. I think I paid around $80 or something, but You know, it's been a great charger and I've had it for several years. My focus is off. All right, front pouch is done. Let's start going through the main pouch. Number one item, mini tripod one. That is a cell phone mount on the top. It just kind of stretches and holds the cell phone. And that is just a little tripod mount for my phone. Number two item, these are my headphones. I have the III TMA2s. They have the Bluetooth headband, and I have the DJ style ear cups right now. They're good for noise canceling. Obviously, they don't have built-in noise canceling, but these isolate the audio really well. And they also do wired, so I have my little cable on there as well. Set that aside. The next item, I guess. So this is a bundle of just stereo cables. These are cheap ones I picked up off of Amazon, and they are not focusing. So these are just cheap cables I picked up off of Amazon, and these are fabric. I really like them. They're nice and heavy duty. They have like the fake gold-plated tips or whatever, and these are just stereo cables. But you can use these for MIDI connections, for the mini jack MIDIs, and you can use them for audio for all the stuff that I have in here. The second item may be harder to understand what it is. It is actually a 3D printed little stand that I made for the 1010 Bluebox, which is my mixer. And I will demonstrate how I'm planning to use that here in a little bit. Next item, I've got a Teenage Engineering OPZ. You've seen me use this on the channel before. And it's in an analog case. It's a pretty nice case. And I've got a little, that's the USB charger cable for it. But this is battery powered, so for my setup, I typically don't need to plug it in. Next item, I've got another light panel. This is another fairly cheap little light panel, rechargeable as well. It has, it's got a good light. It has brightness settings and also the color settings, so I can get fairly bright and I can do like a cool or a warm light. And it has like a built-in battery. It's rechargeable with micro USB. I kind of wish it was USB-C, but you know, I take what I can get. Next item, this one was inspired by the YouTuber Cuckoo, and this is actually the Tula microphone. And I was looking into this, and it looked like it was the perfect thing for what I needed. It does no latency or low latency direct audio out monitoring. It has an internal recorder, USB-C rechargeable. It does have different little stands for this thing. You can actually remove that, and you can put on a like the little socketed stand for a tripod or something like that. And you can, but I like the little stand it comes with, so you can just set it on the table. It has noise canceling built in. It will record internally, but you can also record externally using the direct audio out, and it is a class compliant audio interface. So you can basically plug this into anything that takes class compliant audio using USB-C, and it will do direct capture. And as Cuckoo has demonstrated in a recent video, it will do the noise canceling capture over the digital output, but not the analog output on the side. Another analog case. This is my next item, and this is my Modern Sounds Pluto. I've got a couple of audio splitters in here. It has a couple different audio modes. Also the CV out and stuff has splits. It's got a charger cable. It charges via USB-C, and I've got a few patch cables in here, some of the hosted cables, and the white cables actually were shipped with it. And this is a analog case that I found that is the perfect size and keeps it nice and well protected. So we'll set that aside. Then I've got a little Gorilla Pod, obvious. It's for my lighting panel or my phone or whatever I happen to mount on it, but I like having a couple of these nice small tripods with me. Last audio piece, and this is a like $15 case off of Amazon for a tablet actually, but it fits nicely with the 1010 Bluebox. So I've got a USB cable, some MIDI adapters, a power adapter, and the Bluebox itself. And that fits all really nice inside of this case. And last but not least, this is my regular tripod. This is more of a travel tripod than the one I'm using here in the studio. And I just lost the mount. So this is just a little video style tripod. I like this one because it has this thing here to adjust it, and that holds really tight, and then you just loosen it and it will fold up. But you can do nice overhead shots with this thing. It will it can go like directly straight down or whatever. So this is actually a really nice little tripod, and it has extendable legs. It's aluminum. It's nothing fancy. I think it's like 35 bucks on Amazon, but it's a great little tripod, nice size, fits in my pack just fine. All right, I guess that concludes the first part of this video. I will go ahead and set up some of my gear and kind of show off what it looks like before I record audio, and then the last part of this video is going to be kind of a jam. All right, I'm back. I wanted to kind of show how everything is routed here. It's a little bit crammed on my little studio desk, but we'll do what we can. So I've got my little phone tripod mount kind of sitting off to the side here. This will be for the iPhone, which is on my bigger tripod right now. So I'll kind of scoot that out of the way for the moment. I've got the OPZ. I've got the audio routed here out on this like pink cable over to input 2 on my Bluebox. And I've got the MIDI routed out from the line module out from the OPZ into the Pluto. And the Pluto does accept MIDI on, I believe, channel 1 by default. I've got some cables here to patch the Pluto. I've got my headphones. They're coming from the headphone out on the Bluebox. The Tula mic is down here. And off the side there, I've got another little white and pink cable that goes to input 3 on the Bluebox. The Pluto's main audio output here is going to input 1 on the Bluebox. And the main out is actually going to my camera, which I'm going to lift this up. So there's my camera, into the mic input, and then there's my little cold shoe mount. And then off to the side over there, you can probably see my other panel light. I wanted to talk about my little Bluebox case here. Underneath, it's got a cutout so you can fit a battery pack, and then you can just set that on top, and it holds it nice. It's pretty much rock solid. And I just have a little short USB cable, and that will power the Bluebox. So that way the Bluebox is pretty much all battery powered. I don't need wall power for any of this. I could set up in a park, you know. I don't necessarily need that 3D printed stand, but it does make things a little bit nicer to organize everything. So in the next part of the video, I'm going to get everything running on the travel gear, including the 2 camera setup with the iPhone stand and the main camera. And I'm going to do like a little patch from scratch type of jam using this setup, so you can kind of see how that would all work in practice and how it sounds as well. That's the most important thing. All right, I'll see you in the next part. Welcome to the jam part of the video. I'm going to do a little patch from scratch, little jam here. Not very long. I just kind of want to show off in practice what I have been preaching, I guess, as far as this little tiny setup goes. So on the main tripod here, I've got my Canon little vlogging camera, and on the side tripod over there, I have my iPhone. And I've got another little GorillaPod with the light panel here, and then on the main camera, on my cold shoe, I have another light panel there. Down here, I've got the Tula. I'm recording internally into the Tula, and then I'm sending that out to input 3 on the Bluebox, and the whole output of the Bluebox is actually going to the camera. I may demonstrate the difference between like the audio the camera is receiving compared to like the audio from the Bluebox internally and the Tula internally. So I'm recording all these independently, as well as the iPhone is getting audio. And then, so the Bluebox, I really like the Bluebox. When you compare it to something like the Teenage Engineering TX6, There is some advantages to the Bluebox. You don't get the size, and you don't get the audio interface, and you don't get the battery. I'm going to start off with that. The TX6 wins in those regards. But as far as everything else, I think this is a more fully featured mixer. So I can record each individual output independently into the SD card, which is really nice. I can also have 12 channels, which I think the TX6 can do, but my 12 channels can be all mono and independently controlled. So if I go to the mixer page and I hit this, you can actually see I can set it to 12 tracks, double row, and I can see all the tracks, and I can affect the EQ on those tracks as well as the effects in on every single track independently. I don't need to double 2 tracks up into one slider and 3 EQ knobs. Also, my EQ, the EQ on here is a lot better. It also has a built-in compressor, which I'm pretty sure the TX6 does as well. The FX, it doesn't have as many different types, but I think the FX that are on here are very nice. So I'll go ahead and hit, we got the delay for FX1, and I can beat sync that, I can ping pong delay that, I can sync it to the clock, I can do whatever I want on that, and it's basic, but it's powerful. The reverb has a lot of controls as well, and it has like a freeze and some other things, and the other nice thing is it has a ton of different like reverb algorithms, which I know the TX6 has quite a few effects on board, so I'm not necessarily sure if this is better or not, but I can kind of demonstrate what it sounds like. So we'll do the delay. That's a ping pong. And then I've got the gravitas reverb here. Gravitas reverb. That sounds creepy. All right. Anyway, so that's the Bluebox in a nutshell. I think we're going to go ahead and start with a little patch from scratch here. So this is the Pluto, and I don't want this video to be like an hour long, so just do a quick overview. I have the clock set all the way to the right, and you probably can't see that, but that is a little clock symbol, and that means it's going to be MIDI clock. These are the moons, these 5 outputs across the top, and the black ring is an output. And the moons are basically on-off pulses, and they are usually synced together, but I have actually spread them out using the spread knob, and I randomly generated this pattern that you see here. And then I'm using the width to change how long each of them stays on. So the ones that are staying lit are staying on longer. And it has 2 voices. It has voice 1, which unpatched will be controlled with this little touch plate. I'll turn it to a different. And then voice 2, which is set to wavetable currently, is controlled by this little sequencer. Now to make the sequencer go, you have to actually stick a cable in to the step input. And then this is a wavetable. And you can also change the scale. And that is actually what the knobs will do. So I can change to a different scale. And then it has built-in effects as well. So this is a delay. This isn't the latest beta firmware. It's a clock sync delay thing. And then it has like a glitch reverb. And then the intensity turns into like a loop. We'll go back to the delay for now. Sounds pretty good so far. Let's go ahead and add some reverb to that. We'll go to channel 1. Let's go to the OPZ here. I'll pick my kick drums. Sync it. illustrates it. I didn't want this video to go way too long. I already had quite a lot going on, so I'm going to jam a little bit longer here, a couple more minutes, and fade out. You can stick around or you can leave. I hope you guys liked this one, and I'll be doing more in the future. Just keep an eye on the channel.